Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Don.
Do you want to get ready with me?
What?
No, for a job. Get ready with me for a photography job.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're not taking showers together. Oh, thank God. Our parents watch us, Don. Yes, I do want to see you get ready for a job. Do you want to see me get ready for a job?
I would love to see you get ready for a job. Yeah, so we just thought we would show you guys 2 different types of jobs that we've done and what we did to get ourselves ready, how we prepared our gear, what we were bringing, how we decided what to bring, what we were wearing, all of that.
We also decided because if we did the same job, or even like if it was 2 weddings, it would be the exact same thing because we're the exact same people with the exact same gear. So it'd be kind of boring. So what are you doing?
Okay, so I did a headshot job.
Yep.
So you'll get to see, there'll be a lot of extra equipment from usual because I've got backdrops, reflectors, like 3 times as many light stands as usual. So.
And mine is a themed cruise that I go on every year with a bunch of us where we do marketing for the cruise. Mm-hmm. Not for the cruise, but for the company that runs these themed cruise. Yep. So you're going to get ready with me in my cabin as I go shoot these random things on a cruise ship.
I can't wait for everyone to see.
Yeah. You're gonna like it.
It's gonna be a good time. Okay. Well, enjoy.
Come get ready with me as I enter my cruise room cabin for the first time with all of my photography gear. And now I have to throw it down and get ready because I have to shoot in 10 minutes up on the top deck already. So I have all my camera gear. I'm already wearing some of my gear because I thought we'd shoot right away, but I had a couple extra seconds. So I'm taking everything off. We all shoot Nikon to be consistent on this cruise. So you'll see me. Well, first off, you'll see me get peanut butter M&Ms, which saved my butt for the whole cruise. But as I'm going to unpack the Nikon gear that we all use, obviously I shoot Fuji, but I want to make sure everything's there. So there's my Nikon DSLR. I have, of course, all the batteries, cables, chargers, everything, extra batteries, 70 to 200, 24 to 70. Godox flashes. Of course, the beautiful 14 to 24, my favorite. And then coming up is I will have my own personal bag that I bring too as backup for everything. I have all my backup flashes, my Fuji gear. I didn't have any Magmod spheres, so I had to make sure I grabbed one of my own personal ones. And then make sure, I was like, I like that one better. I don't know why. I'm just weird. But I have everything else back up just in case. So that's all my gear. I'm ready to shoot. Here we go. Now it's time to head to the top deck to start shooting for the sail away party. As you can see, I'm in the elevator with some of the video team, all wearing matching shirts because that's what cool kids do. Also helps the guests know that we're, your photo and video team. Now we do photography. We are there for marketing for the Entertainment Cruise Productions, which is the name of the company that runs these themed cruises. But we also will take pictures of guests, and they will be able to download and get those for free as well. So it's kind of a combination of mainly shooting for marketing, but also shooting for guests if they want to picture together or get in fun moments, they can get those as well. As we go up to deck 11 here for the sail away party, this is the Star Trek themed cruise. So the Star Trek celebrities will be coming out onto the stage, kind of saying who they are and how excited they're going to be, and then a band will play them out as we set sail in the ocean. This is a brand new ship that we've been on called Explorer of the Seas, but we have been on so many of her sister ships that the layout is exactly the same. While the internal designs may be different, the layout is 100%. I know exactly where I'm going, even though I've never stepped foot on this ship before. Let's see here. We have about, 30 minutes before sail away. So we already have video in place in some spots. We have photo in place. We have marked off places that we know give good vantage points. A little bit different this year, though, is normally the stage is right under that Star Trek purple LED TV screen you see there right in the center. Well, this year, they decided to move the stage over to the far left corner, which ended up being really great because we could do some crowd shots, things that we could never do before because that screen was in the way. So it wasn't told to us about it, but we worked with it, and we ended up liking it a lot. At this point, I'm just heading over to see the rest of my fellow photographers, kind of go over the game plan of who's going to go where. Like I said, some of them are already in place because they wanted to save those spots Because once we do sail away, this place will be jam-packed full of people. And then, of course, I know Dean's there, so I'm going to go look out for Dean. There he is. You ready to do this? Yeah, we're ready. It's go time. Let's start taking photos. Now, along with the other cruises, what we do is we are there to photograph all the different events. So you'll see us at concerts, you'll see us at parties, and you'll see us at even things like wine tastings and anything that would do for marketing that you would want to use for another future cruise. So they love to showcase, like, this is what it was like. Here's some photos and video of that. And like I said before, we're also going to take photos of guests, like you'll see with selfie frames with the camp counselors or the morale officers. And those are good ways to, like, not only do they look great as marketing, like look at these fun, times they're having, but you as a guest then get these photos for free on the website a couple of weeks after we get back. So it's kind of a win-win, marketing and good guest photos for them. You'll also see we are down for concerts. We'll shoot, obviously, marketing for them, side of the stage, up front of the stage, sometimes on the stage. But in certain cases, you'll see the talent come down into the pit, as I always call it. And we just happen to be right there and getting some great photo and video of actors or singers interacting with crowd. These are huge things for the company, obviously, because it really showcases the difference of these cruises based on kind of an average cruise or even like a convention where this kind of interaction wouldn't happen. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of work, but we have a good time. So hopefully you get to see a little bit of what we do.
Okay, so I wanted to take you guys along with me as I get ready for a headshot job. I happened to be doing headshots last night for someone, so I still had all my things set up, and I figured I would just show you things while they're set up here, and then I'll try to get a time lapse of me setting everything up on site. The headshot job that I'll be doing is for a law firm. So this is a company that I photographed their holiday party in December. And then they had mentioned that they needed headshots for some of their new staff. And so that's how we came about doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and take you through like the backdrops, reflectors, what I'm bringing in terms of lighting and my camera gear. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first things first, we will talk about the backdrop. So this is a pop-up backdrop. The opposite side is black. This side is white. And then depending on how I light things, it can look light gray, or like the session I did last night, I was lighting this with an additional light and some gels, so I got different colored backgrounds. But the client for tomorrow wants a solid light gray, so I'll be using this and just kind of feathering my main light to only hit the backdrop a little bit, so I should be able to get that light gray look. So that is step one. It is being held on there by a little background clip at the top on just a regular light stand, but I can actually show you the same clip over here. I'm using it with one of my reflectors. So it's just this piece right here. I pop right on the top of a stand and then can use this clip to hold the backdrop in place. So while I have the reflectors over here, I'm actually gonna bring for this session 2 reflectors. So one that will be right next to the person opposite my main light. And then I'll have an additional one on a stand to go right in front of the person. I have an eye lighter that I occasionally use depending on the size of the job. So like in a couple months, I'll probably be doing headshots for the police department, and it'll be, 60 people on multiple days with like a permanent setup. And so for that, I will bring my eye lighter and get it all set up. But for a job like this with just a few people, I will just be bringing this reflector. And what I'm using, let's see if I can show you, is this little bracket here that pops on top of a light stand and has clips on each end so that I can attach the light stand. And it has a ball head, I'm sorry, not attached attached to the reflector, but it has a ball head on the top so that I can adjust the angle for the reflector as well. And then here's a little better look at that. So it has the same type of clips that I use on the bigger light stands. And then this is the ball head so you can control the angle and the tilt of this arm. And this arm is adjustable, so you could technically fit different sizes of reflectors. So aside from the reflectors, let me also show you lighting. So I will have two AD200s on light stands. I do have the bulb attachment on both of them since I'll be using soft boxes. So for the hair light, I'm using this strip box. And again, it has an AD200 with a bulb inside. And then the main light, I'll have a soft box. Probably one like this. I don't think I'm going to take this one. This one I had out last night because I needed the grid attachment for it so that I could get a little bit more dramatic lighting. The shots I was doing last night were actually like for a dance competition, not corporate headshots. So I was using the grid to give me a little more drama. But I'll take probably just a slightly larger softbox. And then I bring with me a stool for people to sit on, and I normally do a combination of sitting and standing poses just to give people a little variety. Anyone who has worked with me knows I don't ever go anywhere without my step stool, so I'll have that with me as well. I'm just short, so I try to pretend like I'm, 10 inches taller than I really am to get a slightly more flattering angle for people. And then in terms of gear for the headshots, this is what I'm planning on shooting with. So I have my Fujifilm X-T5 with my Godox trigger on it so I can trigger all of my lights. And then the 55 to 140 lens, which is like a 70 to 200 equivalent for anyone on full frame. This is what I will prefer to shoot with. Sometimes, even though I've requested a certain amount of space, I don't get that amount of space. So if I have to, I have 24 to 70 equivalent, the 16 to 55. This is the new one from Fujifilm. I also have a Viltrox 56 millimeter, which won't really help me in terms of focal length if I'm on the 55 to 140. This is within that, but another option. And then I have the Viltrox 23 millimeter, and then I have my second body, the XH2. I like to mix up which cameras I use for what, just so that I give them a break sometimes. So the XH2 right now I have rigged up with the mount for a spider holster, but since I'm only doing 5 headshots for this job, I'm not worried about using the spider holster. I'll just be hand holding or using my Peak Design strap with my XT5. So that is most of the equipment that I'm packing up to bring with me. Just some extras. I always have extra batteries, like I showed, extra camera, extra lenses. I have several extra light stands that just kind of live in my car. One other thing I will be bringing for this headshot session is my iPad and an SD card reader. So this law firm requested that everyone make their selections on site just so that it's quick and done and over with. So what I'm going to do is photograph someone, download their card to my iPad, let them view their images and pick their 2 favorites while I start photographing the next person, and then kind of keep that process going through all 5 people. That way I'm leaving the job tomorrow knowing exactly which 10 images I'm editing and delivering back to them. So I'll have, like I said, my iPad and SD card reader with me as well. So I'm going to try my best to show you some footage of me setting everything up on site and then just some behind the scenes of everything in action. And I hope you enjoyed it. So whenever I have big jobs like this, I almost always use my wagon because there's no way I can manage to carry all of it on my own. But just a quick time lapse of me setting up all of the lights, the reflectors, the stool, getting my camera ready for everybody so that we're good to go. A lot of what goes into photographing headshots is making your clients feel comfortable because most of the time, especially for corporate headshots, they are not used to being in front of the camera and they don't enjoy being in front of the camera. So I normally do my best to crack some jokes, talk about some silly things just to get people comfortable in their environment and ready to take photos. Also, I try as much as I can to demonstrate my posing instructions and mirror that for them so they know what I'm trying to say. And a lot of what goes into headshots too is making sure everything looks picture perfect. So checking jewelry, checking hair, looking at how ties are sitting, if buttons are buttoned, if there are creases in the clothing, things like that. Because it's way easier to fix that. I always call it doing Photoshop in real life. Much easier to do it on site than to worry about fixing it later on. Even though I can fix it later on, I'd rather not. So I did photos for everybody and then got those photos on an iPad so they could pick their 2 favorite images. And those were the ones that I edited and delivered to them. Now that everyone got to see what we did, well, you already got to see what we did this week.
We kind of just showed you what we shot this week.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about how you unwind after work. So gear's put away, stuff's downloaded. We're going to do a detailed video about that sometime in the future. So that part's all done.
First question. What time is it?
Okay. I guess in my head I was thinking like you're getting home from a late job. So 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m. to like late.
Bed, sleep. Instant sleep. Yeah.
I hate you.
Yeah. You ever seen Bruce Almighty?
Yes.
When Jim Carrey comes in and he just goes like this and all his clothes to the ground? That's me. Bed. Instant.
Okay, that's really unfair.
Yeah. I can fall asleep anywhere at any time for any reason.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll just talk about how I unwind after work. So even when I do come home late, I'm usually taking a shower when I get back. Because let's face it, we're doing like summertime outdoor weddings.
It's gross.
It's gross. Take a shower. I normally have to stretch because I'm old and my legs hurt. But then I either have to like watch YouTube videos or read a book for at least a half hour before my brain starts to turn to mush enough to fall asleep.
Yeah, I just close my eyes and I go to sleep. It's really easy. Maybe roll on your side. I don't know, like just roll on my side and close my eyes and then it's morning.
Does Crystal also fall asleep anywhere, anytime, or does she also hate you?
No, she hates my guts. Everybody hates my guts.
Yeah. It's just not fair.
I don't know. I just turn my brain off.
How? There's not, like, if I had just the power
Stop
switch.
thinking. Just close your eyes.
Is that what you do?
Yes.
Is that what you do during this podcast?
I haven't. Like... I don't even know where we are right now. I thought I was still on a cruise ship. So
okay, so let's say you get home from work midday.
Yeah.
Dinner time.
In that case, well, I do have children's, so I will spend some time with them. That always helps. And my favorite things to unwind are usually mindless television, YouTubes, or board games. Not always can do that because sometimes board games are a big setup. But those are my favorite things to unwind. But usually it's, if it's a long day, because it always is, if it's early, then I'm there till 5. Like I'm on the couch just blah. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah. Sometimes that carries over into the next day.
Also fair.
Yeah. Sometimes their couch time is much needed.
Sometimes, depending how in the mood though, I will start, like if I'm really excited about it and it's early enough, I will fart my way over to the computer and start like mess with it. And I like that one. Oh, and then next thing you know, I have completed the entire sneak peeks, all 350 of them. Yeah. 5 stars.
But then it'll take you another 4 weeks to edit the rest of the job because you'll hate it all and won't want to look at it again.
Correct.
Yeah, I guess in my head, I was thinking it would be late because those are the only times I feel like I can just unwind and not worry about making up everything that I missed while I was working. Like if I finish a job, like a long enough job, and it's still business hours, I feel like I have to get back to all of the emails that I missed, or the text messages, or the Facebook messages, or Instagram TMs, the 100 million ways people try to get in touch with us. I feel like I need to respond to all of those. So I'm like immediately back in work mode when I get home. But if it's late enough, I'm like, oh no, that's a tomorrow problem. Now I can just unwind.
See, I also don't get to sleep in. I got kids, so I'm waking up.
Yeah.
Regardless of what time I went to bed, I'm still getting up early.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just close your eyes, man. Have you ever thought of just trying to close your eyes and go to sleep?
We're going to have a problem.
I think you're overthinking it. I think
we're going to have a problem continuing this podcast
That's fine.
if you keep telling me to just try going to sleep.
Do you want me to fall asleep right now? Because if I laid my head on this table long enough, I would be asleep within 10 minutes.
It just doesn't work that way. Even since I was a kid, like, I never fell asleep quickly. My sister, on the other hand, we used to joke that, like, when she was little, her battery just turned off because it wouldn't matter, like, what we were doing, where we were. Like, at a certain point, she'd be like, nope, I'm done. Asleep.
It's funny as everyone thinks that I'm an intro or an extrovert because I'm I'm actually quite an introvert. And when Jacob's social battery is done, it's done. And it is, I go sleep, no talkie.
Yeah, I'm definitely an extrovert. But weddings can push me to my capacity.
I just want to sit in the dark with my dark thoughts. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, I could definitely feel satisfied with my level of social interaction for the day by the time a wedding day is over. I'm also a shy extrovert, though. So, like, I don't want to talk to people. I just want to be around people.
You want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Like, when I was between jobs before I started photography, I was job searching. So I was just sitting at home. Ryan had a job still, so he was going to work. We had just moved to Florida. So we didn't have extra money. So it wasn't like calling my friends to go out. Like, I was just sitting at our place doing job applications and searching for jobs all day long. And I was going nuts being at home alone. And Ryan's an introvert, so he would get home from his work at a grocery store where he was at his max. And he would come home and need to decompress. And I'm just like a chatterbox because I finally have a human to talk to. Caused a lot of problems. But I started going to coffee shops and doing all of my job searching from there. And, like, just being around people watching, listening to conversations, like, fixed a lot of the problem for me.
And people think that I'm an extrovert, so they bring me into stuff. But I'm the opposite. Is you're like, let's go do. Everyone wants to do stuff with Jacob, and I'm like, okay.
Don't invite him to anything.
Yeah. You didn't invite me to your birthday. It's fine.
It's a girls only thing. I invited your wife.
Didn't get invited. Just saying.
Like transitive property.
Mm-hmm. Now listen, I wouldn't have gone, but I still wanted the invite. There's no way in hell I would have gone.
Thank you. Makes me feel nice and warm.
Well, because it was a female, it was a girl only thing.
But if I invited you, then it wouldn't have been.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have gone.
You wouldn't have gone.
I would have been sleeping, not going. It's fine.
Anyways. Okay.
Yeah. So really, I just go to sleep. And then I have a family, so.
Let me just say that we discussed this topic. And Jacob was like, oh, yeah, that's a really good idea. Not telling me that he had nothing to contribute other than I go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, then I was like, we don't really get off that early very often.
Yeah.
So even when we do, like, it's just regular life stuff.
The Bruce Almighty scene is a wonderful visual.
As my wife, it's completely true. It's just yank. And then I'll clean them up in the morning.
Oh, man. Okay.
All right.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for getting ready with me.